So easy.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to this LinkedIn Live, especially featured from EventProfsBreakShit. You know Shawn, you know me from EventProfsBreakShit, and we have some very special guests here with us, which are Ivan and Santiago.
Hello.
Good
Hola.
morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
So this is a super international broadcast, which I'm super excited about. So, and we are talking about a very universal topic. We're talking about AI. And we are talking about this because Shawn was recently on a Skift Meetings podcast that you might have already listened to. If not, the link is in the chat. Um, and he was more of the opinion that we maybe should take it a bit slow and maybe take even a break and all this AI hype. And then we started discussing, and then we thought, like, okay, we have to talk publicly about that because this is super interesting and very, very up to date. So, and then we thought, okay, let's bring on some more guests. So we have a very lively discussion. And of course, we also want to hear from you. So if you're watching us now live, add in the comment in the chats like that you're joining us, say hello. And what's your opinion about AI? What are you using right now? Do you take it a bit like, do you take a break, or you're like full into this topic and you love hearing more about it? So, okay, so I'm thinking of with which gentleman to start. But maybe since I already talked about Shawn, and Shawn, you started this discussion basically. Do you want to kick us off and share a little bit more about your opinion about AI right now? What do you think? What do you hear as well from the industry? And maybe you already got some feedback from other listeners that listen to your podcast story.
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone. This is Shawn, and then I'm based in Canada. So I think that would be actually probably a better start is just if we just quickly do a rounds and quickly introduce yourself, especially for those who don't know any of us, and that you just randomly be able to see us because we are linking algorithm. But I think this is an exciting topic, right? Like I think everyone is still the hottest topic right now. But I think my question is, if anyone who are listening this right now live, if you can just put it into the chat and just simply let us know, like what is the usage for AI right now? Did you using it? What did you use for? Did you use frequently? Right, either of those questions, because I think that would be a really good testimonial. Actually, just for this segment is like, because I personally think is overhyped at this point. And for those of who know me very well, I was all over about it last year when ChatGPT first released the first version of the three, like ChatGPT 3. It was impressive and it was overwhelming, exciting, and that's the thing I cannot talk about last year, and I not just talk about, but I cannot stop trying it. Like I have tried all the different tools and play around with it, experiencing it. Actually, I implement it into my daily work. And so that's kind of what would be interesting, right? To see how many of you actually implement into your daily work. It's very different than listen to other people like us talking about how amazing they can be. And they just, oh, that was awesome. And you go back and do the thing the same way, right? I actually implement it, and then I see a lot of good success. But this year, I definitely had the feeling with a few different reasons, happy to share later, that I just feel is definitely overwhelming. People should probably even people should make a decision is whether they want to take a pause or not. And I can explain that as well. And hello, everyone. So hello, Christine from Berlin, and Dylan's and Sue's and our good friend from Poland.
Yes, it's good to see all of you joining us. And we have the first comment from Dylan, who is saying AI is currently overrated in the immediate short term. It will only get significantly better in the medium or long term, and the impacts won't be conceivable. Even I see that you're nodding.
I have a lot to say about this.
Do you
So
want to
yeah,
answer?
I'll do a super quick intro. So I'm Evan. I'm from
Please.
Toronto. I'm an event manager at Intuit Canada. So happy to be here on this LinkedIn Live with everyone. So for me, and I'll just like sort of respond to Shawn really quickly. I also got super hyped. I got super excited about it last year when ChatGPT came out. There was like so many use cases that we were using it for that we continue to today. So I totally agree with Shawn. Like I implemented kind of, I wouldn't say necessarily like, oh, there goes my camera. 1 second. Sorry about that.
Now we know you are not a digital clone, right?
Yeah, I was
Exactly.
a little
I'm real.
little
I'm
disappointed.
real and not AI. Yeah, it's not like AI Sina. So yeah, so I use it, I would say, on like a weekly basis. Where is it going? This is weird. There we go. And I use it for what I like to call like the automated tasks that we sort of have to do, not that we want to do. So it's like building show flows, building, reporting that we have to do, building out, speaker summaries for presentations, like those kind of day-to-day tasks that are more on the admin side of things that I want to get done quickly and efficiently, that I can then free up some of my time and my space to do more of the fun, exciting things that I like to do in events. So whether it's, working on floor plans or building out, what stage renders are going to look like, all that kind of fun stuff. So what I like to say is like AI for me is more about the automation of tedious tasks versus what I think a lot of people think it is and a lot of people use it for, which we can get into again a little bit later maybe, of like the AI video creation, the AI photo creation, the AI audio that's happening now. And so for me, when I think of AI, the first thing that comes to mind, I think like everyone, is obviously ChatGPT. But I think actually we should be thinking about that as more task automation versus creating net new content using AI. So I think we have to separate those two topics, and we can get into like what that means and how we can implement all of that. But I think a lot of people in the industry think it's the creation of content, but really they're using it for automation of menial tasks.
Mm-hmm. Right. Wow. So shall I go?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Santiago. I'm from Uruguay. And normally I'm on an airplane traveling, meeting people. I love this industry. I work for FIEXPO, but I also work for Mice Consulting. There is a consultancy company, but it's important to say or to just, this is a very personal thought about AI. For me, AI is an assistant, period. It's my assistant. And when I reached to ChatGPT at the beginning, I use it for simple stuff, very simple. And then I was reading through some comments, and my friend Senia said about time saving, mentioned time saving, and I love that because this assistant in less than 3 years or 4 years became into a very, very quite accurate assistant. So saving me a lot of time. And I'm using that time not only for personal stuff that is obvious, but also for creating new stuff. So it gives me more time in order to be more innovative, creative. So for me, I always try to put it simple. In 2019, ChatGPT, that is the most global, let's say, well-known AI chatbot or whatever, the thing is, was barely, it was a baby. In 2019, it was a baby, barely speaking. And then in 2020, it was speaking, and now it's an assistant. And at the end of this year or the next year at the beginning, for sure it will become a PhD in your office. So my question to all of our industry friends is, how are you going to use that PhD that you weren't able to buy for $20 per month, right? That's the question. Are you going to use it in a useful way, in a positive way, or are you going to go into the dark side of the force and use it in the wrong way? That's up to you. But that's something that we have achieved already. And if we are not talking about that, and if we are underestimating that, I think we this is again very personal. I think we will be easily out of the equation. And one other thought, one thing we can't do as humans is to, let's go to Albert Einstein. So Einstein was a genius, right? And he had students. But all the students from Albert Einstein they weren't so famous like him or so brilliant like him, right? Because he was trying to teach them, but they were getting the information and applying and trying to do whatever they could do with that information. This kind of language or new entity in our world is able to replicate itself, improve and improve and improve. So it's like Albert Einstein with asteroids, and that's something that is amazing. Of course, it's scary, but it's also amazing because if you see a runway video today, that's the worst performance runway will have today, because tomorrow it will be better. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you a question, because I think you brought up a really good point, right? And that's what Tipos mentioned that in the chat is, using AI as a PA. I think it's definitely, you're not the only one who talk about it, and there's definitely a potential about it, right? But the question, and that's kind of tied into my argument point is, so is AI your PA right now?
It is.
In what way?
Is.
Do you still have a secretary, or you actually just, like a secretary, just using AI?
AI. 100% AI is helping me 100% right now. Doing whatever you can imagine. And I will explain. For example, let's say we need to create a proposal for a project for a city, for develop the development of a DMO. I used to go through the whole thing, typing blah 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 blah, in order to get the whole thing done. Now, it's all about going into the tool, put inside the tool all what I need. The tool will create something for me that's quite amazing already, because it's creating almost something perfect, and I'm quite impressed. After sending the correct prompts, and then the tool creates the proposal. Then I read the proposal. Then I copy paste the proposal. I go to Canva and I create I have my proposal already done. And then I read it, and then I change X, Y, Z, and then boom, sent. So
here, let me just jump in really quickly before you continue.
Yeah.
Let me jump in really quickly.
Sure.
My big beef with ChatGPT and my big issue, and I feel like maybe Shawn is going to be of the same mind as me. I'm not going to make an assumption. But what I tell people all the time is you should never be using the first draft that comes from an AI tool as your final output. We use it as like brainstorming, as research, as like V -1. But a lot of people that I speak to tell me that they use it as like that's their output, and I was like, I don't understand how you can do that. Yeah,
read it, please.
Because that's my big problem. Yeah,
read it before sending it. Okay, that's your job now.
Yeah. But San Diego, it seems like you are using AI, more specifically generative AI, for content for creative process. It helps you speed up the process. Am I right?
100%. And it was not only for content creation, also for research. In some levels, is speeding up the process, because I used to spend a lot of time, not only myself, also with the entire team, trying to, let's say, explore some. Let's go to the events industry, right? Trying to gather some leads and go into different databases that are around the world, blah 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 blah, trying to look for perspectives. Now it's quite more easy. That job is getting easier and easier. And then, for example, another way I use the AI all day is about let's say when I'm trying to skip some emails that are really, annoying. Uh, those guys that wrote 8 pages emails. I love you guys, all of you. If you do that, go ahead. But the people won't pay attention to that anymore, and it's
I
hard
would
to
not like
pay
a
attention.
person who wrote an 8-page email.
Yeah. So one year ago there was a tool that I was using that it was I don't know if you know that, it. It's Mail Butler. Amazing. Now Gemini has done that for Gmail. Mail Butler is an app. You can download it and then you put it there, and then it will work in Outlook, in your Gmail, or wherever. And it will try to understand you, and then it will try to reply for you, and then it will try to summarize all the important things and those 8 pages emails. Hey, and try to summarize my conversation with you, Shawn. Hey, the last time you talked. And so that's something that I feel we are getting more and more accurate with those. Those kind of tools are really good for what we do, because we normally struggle with our time because we organize events. So we have a lot of operational stuff to do. Or others have strategic stuff to do. Others have more creative stuff to do, and or create, or even to connect with more and more people. Now AI is helping a lot. There are several tools, but are helping you to create your own, or expand your own social media, channels. So,
But it's a good that to see that, San Diego,
so
that you
I use it
see so
that
many
way.
user case, right? But
and
I
I, and,
think,
and, I,
yeah,
and I have one more. For
yeah.
example, I used to get some. I know it's a tricky one, this one. But I used to get a lot of. Hey, Santi, can you record some small video for our next event, or whatever, or trends, or about whatever? Yeah. I used to record and waste that time, on that, and then I met Haitian, another Synthesia, and other tools, and I start playing with that, and I was surprised. And I'm not using now an avatar because I don't have the computing power to do it. But soon people will have the computer power in order to have avatar zooms. That technology already exists, but you
Yeah,
don't have
but
the computer power. Again,
no,
yes.
that's true. That's true. But I think that is kind of like, I mean, again, like I say, it's good to see, like, you see all the benefit, at least, and that is kind of what my argument point, right? Like, you are kind of the perfect example of somehow proving me, like, okay, maybe I'm wrong, because I do, like, what I'm struggling right now is I didn't see much use case. It's all about right now, at least on the surface, everyone talking about how amazing it can be. But in reality, it's still not there, right? And then secondly, actually, if we're simply just talking about the creation process, and I think we have a few content creator and educator like Sanya with strategists in here that raised a really good question, is ethical and then the human responsibility part. There's actually a lot of the ethical question have been raised lately about generative AI. Like, for example, generative AI is actually not AI. It was a bunch of slaves in Africa who actually answer all those questions, so they sound human because they're legit human answering those questions. And like, that is actually a true story out there, right? And then also, I think another thing is, as much as we love and we're exciting about the power of we feeding the AI with the knowledge, and the AI gonna be more smarter and smarter, that eventually can help us to like be the PA, like what you're talking about, right? But like, how smarter we want them to go, right? Those are kind of a constantly debate at the point, and then those debate will change dramatically depending on how it go. Like, and for example, like my thought is like, and that's kind of what I thought is, I'm not saying that we should don't care about AI, because we cannot. right? Like if they're like right in front of our face, and for some people like Santiago, it's already integrated with your life, which is great. But what I mean, taking a pause about the AI hype is we don't need to be super energizing of tracing. Somehow that's exhausted actually of tracing. All right, what is going on with AI right now? As a practitioner like us, right? Like if this is a podcast, let's say if this is a show directing to the tech industry, like for the startup group, or this is the show about AI research, for example, this is a different conversation, right? You should all looking at the potential. But this is a show with a bunch of people who have daily life and hope AI can somehow revolutionize or evolution out the way that we work or make our work better. My point is like there's a lot of, and maybe that just me being lazy, because I had a feeling there's a lot of smart people out there who dedicate their life and energy, like for example like Sina, who really want to like looking at what the potential is. Let them be that, right? Let them do the research and let them be the experience. When I used to be that one last year, I'm just feel like, all right, I'm so tired, and I guess so many other things in my life that I feel like will let the other people do, right? And they actually going to try and fail. And with all the government regulation coming in, Europe just passed something earlier this year. US is in the heated debate. I think that Canada will just wait whatever US did and will do something different and call it our own. But like everyone is doing that, and that will change very dramatically on how the developer will go, right? That regulation will change how the technology work. And a lot of things right now we're exciting about may not actually able to do because it's not compliant with the regulation. So that's kind of what my thought is. I think it's great, and I think I highly encourage people still experiencing it to the way that makes sense to you. And actually, we should keep experiencing. It's kind of like what the chat say. Everyone sharing kind of how they're using it, the pros and cons, which is whoever on this call or listening on the chat, is the good thing is you're all very educated. You're all actually very open-minded. But I think we can all make the decision of like how engaged we want in terms for the hype of the AI.
Yeah.
And Shawn, sorry, Sina, go ahead.
Yeah, no, just a few thoughts directing to what Shawn just said, because I agree that we should, think of how much time we should invest, and if we go, along the road with it and stuff like that. But I do feel like, and that's what's happening a lot in the events industry, that we might miss out. We might be very delayed with certain things. So if we are not now spending some time on that and investing resources and time, it will be too late. Because sure, you can say we should wait until like the market is more settled and I can present you all the tools on a silver plate, but it might be too late, because then maybe other associations, other event agencies, other planners, they already ahead of you and use the tools and save, a lot of like time and try to make things like innovative and implement it in their work, in their daily life, but also at the conferences. So, I think it's everybody needs to think about it themselves, but I also do feel like don't just, lean back and wait, because we often do that, and that's not good. That's my opinion. But Evan, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so Shawn, when you talk about like the hype and everything around it, and like how we need to like take a pause and not be like focusing all of our energy on it, are you talking more on the like generative AI, like the chat GPTs of the world, or are you talking about the people who are like taking Frank Sinatra's voice and having him sing hip hop records? Like where what part of the AI world? Because AI, obviously, as we know, is so vast and it's so massive, and there's so many kinds of different ways to implement and use AI in our daily, in our like kind of monthly, like randomly, how we use it. So like when you're talking about what you want to pause on, is that like using chat GPT on a daily basis like Santiago does potentially as your like assistant, or are you like, let's take a pause on like the video creation, the audio creation, the photo creation? Like, what part of the AI world are you referencing when you talk about taking that pause?
So this is going to be again very controversial. So I want to take a part. Is actually what Ronald say in the chat is spend time, learn more about
Right.
AI and
Right.
experience what AI can transform the event industry.
Yeah.
I can make a claim right now. It won't. It will not transform the event industry right now. Maybe it will. It won't. At least not at this point. And then if you're worried about you're gonna get behind because you are not really on top of it right now, chill. That's actually my point. Chill. You won't. You will not get behind. Maybe you are not going to be the pioneer who people will remember you from 10 years from now. Oh, like he's the one who, really lead the way of driving AI revolution our industry. Maybe you will not be that person, but you will not get behind because this industry is bigger enough that if someone did that, then you follow. Sometimes it's kind of like a. Actually, it was interesting because I was up late last night till like almost like 2 a.m. Watching the triathlon competition at the Olympic. It was very fascinating. And for those who don't know, triathlon is it's a 3 type of sports, right? You swim first, then you do the bike, and then you run. And there's the athlete who are leading all the way to the bike portion, who lead a huge distance, who actually end up number 5 because he got passed out during the halfway through the bike and then just never and then he got too tired to do the wrong part, right? So like that's kind of like a good analogy. Sometimes it's a pacing strategy, right? I'm not saying like, and that's kind of what actually. So I echo what Sina said, right? You should like, if you really feel the passion and desire to be upfront at this point, great. But if you are not, don't feel left out or don't feel discouraged. Sometimes it just some people can be a good follower and you probably end up still leading. It just doesn't mean you are not the first one.
I love this question that Sina you put up on screen, and I was just waiting to jump in to like see if we can address it.
But
I think this is going to be a very interesting round table answer from the 4 of us. So I think Santiago probably will have like definitely problems that he's addressing with it. I think we'll all have different opinions. So I would love to like do maybe a quick rapid fire around the room and like go through top problems. So like Santiago, you want to go first?
Before I want to ask to drop an example because people is also asking for our direct experience with the whole thing. The other day I was walking into a meeting room. We were organizing an event for 1 week. A lot of pictures were taken. A lot of video was taken, and I saw our photographer. Okay, and I saw the photographer and the computer like, and say, okay, what are you doing? I'm editing every single picture. Oh yeah, cool, interesting. And when do you think I'm going to get all the best pictures that I need to put in Instagram? Right now. It will be in 1 week or today. And I said, just pay attention to this because otherwise, I'm just trying to answering what Sina mentioned and addressing what you said, John, with a quick example. There are free tools and there are paid tools, right? I show the photographer a paid tool. There are 10 or 15 that work perfectly. I show only one and say, hey, pay attention to this. This for $40, it will edit all your pictures and it will be perfect. And by the end of this day, you will have all the pictures done. And at the beginning, it was reluctant, right? And then I say, if you are reluctant to do that and you want to wait, but believe me, in the other blog, there are 10 other photographers paying for $40 doing the same job, giving me this in less than 24 hours, and they will be able to charge me 50% less because they will be able to have more time to look for more clients. So maybe today you will stay, but in 1 week or two, you should pay attention to this because it is a game changer. And it's up to us to understand how to. Of course, we are not experts. We are all amateurs. We are all learning through YouTube or listening to podcasts and trying to and experience the whole thing. We are not programmers. We are not, right. But just pay attention to that because I agree with you. You should not go like a crazy chicken, right? No. It's about understanding the whole thing, how the whole thing will impact your job, and how that tool can help you in order to make it better. The photographer example is one. The other day, a kid in his room in 24 hours made a Volvo commercial. That is in YouTube. Look for it. Volvo commercial AI. That was a kid in 24 hours. It was an amazing commercial. Volvo is paying, I guess, a lot of money to an agency to develop commercials. And if that kid using Runway and After Effects, a little bit of After Effects at the end of a video, using Runway, $40, and After Effects made that, and he sells that to Volvo for $40K, Volvo will buy it. so that's the way we should try to incorporate this. Then if we go to the next level, the other day I was working with associations, leaders, medical field, engineering, chemistry, whatever, law, and this gives them a chance in order to tackle different kind of problems. Because AI is not only helping us to solve, let's say, a proposal or how to create a better content for an event. It's helping solving problems, human problems. So where are the main, let's say, voices or clients from our side? In the association market. Associations should lead or pay attention to AI because they should lead the content creation and the true knowledge and where it should go. That's their job. For example, in the association market, this is a bit, again, personal perception and opinion. And some associations are already working with OpenAI and other companies in Australia, helping people to gather some information in order to cure some very complex issues that we have in our brains that don't allow us to walk. There are some associations already working with OpenAI and Stanford University in order to solve that.
And I think what Santiago says
that's important.
But Santiago, like I think you just proved a really perfect example, and it's like if we have some people like you who voluntarily and passionate about dedicate your time and effort to experience and then to see the result, right? But what my point is, it's totally fine to be, and that's kind of the take I am at this point, is to encouragingly and happily watching you on the sideline to see how you try it. And then I would say, oh, you know what? That's actually a good thing. And then I'm gonna do that. And that is kind of what, so we're kind of talking about the same thing, right? But I think maybe my point is so I know this is not what this talk about, but sometimes it's a bit more mental, like almost a bit more mental, like mental health. Hopefully will give people a bit more release is you don't need to be the front. You really don't. You can like that's what I'm taking. I feel much better actually right now lately by simply doing that. You know, I watch a lot of amazing people giving a try on AIs, and but the thing is, you know, the question need to change, right? Right now, your question should be very specifically like what I did. It's like, so what do you actually using it? right? What's your experience? Let me see the result, right? And then when we're talking about event, right? Let's just talk about event, right? A lot of times, like I think PA is in obviously benefit potentially, but for events, it's like, what is the part that it actually help transform our event experience? At least right now, I haven't seen one. So if anyone who actually did, please share. Like Sina, we talk, like you mentioned about the digital poster. Oh, I had a big conversation with Miguel about that on our call. Like there's a reason the traditional poster board still exists, because they still work. And that's it. Right? But like I know we're cautious on the time. Even I would love to go back to what I even suggest, rapid fire of some of the challenge that people can keep an eye to.
Yeah, let's do that. And just quickly, thanks a lot to Mirai and Xenia and everybody who's participating in the chat with long comments, and we can't show them here. They're cut off. So go on LinkedIn and read the full comment, because they're really interesting statements. So rapid fire round of what problems you think AI can solve. I start and then we make a round. So what I'm like currently also investigating a lot in is like how it can help event professionals, but also the marketeers or the CVBs and other suppliers in the industry, right? What I personally use it a lot for is just, running in the background, taking meeting notes. So everybody can quickly implement it. It's super, super easy to do. And then you don't need anybody to take notes, but everybody can fully focus on what's going on in the meeting. But the same as for like sessions, right? So you can also run it when you have sessions. So after this is actually, it's brilliant that we are doing this today, because I can use it to play around with some other tools afterwards to like create little snippets out of it or little quotes and stuff like that. So watch my LinkedIn for more updates on which tools I used for that and how it worked. So these are my two problems, and the last one is like to create videos with it. I mean, maybe you've seen my video from yesterday about just simply uploading a photo and then it can talk. I'm not the biggest fan of that, to be honest. I rather use it for full video creation. But these are my current three problems that came to my mind. There are way more use cases for that, but we have three other people here to tell me about theirs.
Yeah, I'll go. So I think my biggest problems that I'm looking for solutions to AI to solve is getting relevant, whether it's session content. So we have a session topic. What are we actually going to talk about in that session, whether it's an internal or external? I used AI to help write a speaker package that I applied to speak at an event. So they asked a bunch of questions. I asked ChatGPT to help me with that. So I think for when you're doing keynote speaking engagements at events, like external events, and you're a keynote speaker, I think it's 100% should be in your tool belt to help craft your message, craft your presentations, not be the final presentation, obviously, but to help you do those packages, get through that sort of tedious task that you have better things to do with your time with. So I think that's a huge thing for me. And then I'm really excited about the video elements. I haven't really done a lot of stuff in video and AI photo generation and all that kind of stuff. So I know, Sina, I think you're a bit ahead of me. I'm still a little bit behind on that, but I like Shawn was saying earlier, like you don't have to be the early adopter. Like you can watch other people learn and showcase and show what they did well and how they did it well, and then you can adopt and use it when you're ready and you're comfortable doing so. And so in terms of like the video and photo stuff, that's where I'm at right now. Like I'm sort of watching other people and doing more of the chill and like observing. But I think in the next like kind of like 6 to 8 months or so, I'm going to get really excited about that video and photo element. So Sina, I'll definitely be looking to you to show me the ropes and show me what you've learned in terms of AI. And maybe Shawn, let's go to you for challenges.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest one I'm the most pay attention to is how because what I find right now is AI actually blocking true creativity. the more you're using it, somehow the more you get blocked. And the reason is, and that's a lot of research show, is actually, although AI helped dramatically on efficiency in terms of content creation, it somehow it seems it look more creatively individually, but if you put them all together, it look not. Like if right now, if you go on LinkedIn, you can actually, as a normal person, guessing which post is writing by AI. It's that obviously at this point. And I think that is a big concern for a lot of the content creators and the people who actually rely on their creativity, right? And that's kind of a big trade-off I think we will need to be pay attention to, is how much control we really want to give out, and also be aware of how much we actually get, like Christina mentioned earlier, is about, AI can help you point to the right direction, right? But that right direction sometimes is narrowing your creative direction too, because you somehow seamlessly be guided by that AI direction. And that usually point to not a creative version. So that's kind of the biggest one that I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego.
So, well, for me, it's the first one I already mentioned, and then it's the key one. It's helping me to solve the time problem. Sometimes I was in the past traveling so much and being in so different events and doing a lot of projects, and I was trying to get an extra 2 hours, right, per day, so not 25, 26. And I said, oh, and I was wishing to find a way, or trying to learn to find a way how to get better, how to organize better, and how to do something better, but from my side. And then these tools appear in the world. And again, an example. I went over a couple of 1 month ago. We were through FIEXPO in Panama. A lot of academic content, a lot of things. It's not only for content creation. It gave me the time to focus on people, because our business is a business based on human to human contact, right? And then we should not forget about that, despite we are talking about the digital world. So I was using that time that I got from a lot of tasks that I used to take time from my time to pay attention, like writing the program, writing whatever you can imagine, ideas or blah blah blah. The tool did that, and I focus on the facilitators, moderators, the speakers, the humans, and how we can really create or recreate our events. And we try hard this year, our events into human experiences. Like, let's go out of the AI world, and then let's use this time to connect and to really create something special. So AI gave me that time. Then I use that time for my work in order to improve that and to get that experience done, right? So that's so. Number two, it gave me more creativity and connections. Improve that. And number three, I think another example about how can you use it and to solve specific problems. Again, when you are organizing an event, and this is even a funny one. I was at that moment, like a couple of months ago, ChatGPT released 4.0 version, right? So at that time, I got the version in Uruguay that I can really interact with my ChatGPT talking, and and my wife came and said, "What was the lady? Who was the lady you were speaking with?" No, it is ChatGPT. It has all the flow, the workflow of all the academic program we created in FIEXPO inside the memory. So now what I'm asking is, what is what she, or at that time it was a female voice, now that became famous because of Scarlett Johansson, and then the system answered me all the program and all the weak points where I should focus on. And then I tried one thing, an extra thing. I said, hey Chad, can you present this program as a master of ceremony? And the system started, hey, here is Senia Pola from amazing. And I was surprised and say, okay, wow, I'm not going to use this right now, but this is something to interact with in the future, right? Next year we will play with this for sure. And again, and an extra, some associations and from our industry are already doing this, are using AI in order to gather all the content that is generated inside all those academic programs, that nobody can be at all sessions all the time paying attention. Your brain will be dead in 15 minutes. So imagine being 4 days getting all the information, blah blah blah. Now AI gathering all the information and making a fantastic summary of the whole thing for all the participants. Boom, in 5 minutes. That's cool. That's also a good use for AI in our events.
Yeah, thanks. No, I agree. I think, we come to the conclusion here that some people think we should maybe rather take a break, but some people not. And I do really like Marian's comment that he made, and it's fantastic. Well, it's really long, but I quickly want to read it out, because he's saying basically that not everybody should be these early adopters, because they might then see it doesn't work, and then they get disappointed, and then they stop continue working with it. So the majority of people should maybe chill, like Shawn is saying, but definitely not everyone. So I think this comment really rounds it up very nicely, and we see a big development over the next few days, weeks. I don't want to say years, because the development is so fast, and we probably also need a round two of that in a couple of weeks, because we already have new thoughts about things, or we discovered new things, we tried new things out, we have new tips. So thanks everybody for taking this time, and for everybody to be active in the chat, or for everybody who just rewatched this or just re-listened to it. So we'll probably continue this talk for part 2 soon, because there's really, as I said, so much to talk about. So thanks a lot to my co-host Shawn from EventProfsBreakShit. Thanks a lot for Even, and thanks a lot to Santiago for taking the time to chat with us about AI today.
Thanks for joining us, both.
Of course.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Yeah.
And maybe next
And
time.
thanks everyone in the chat, for being so engaged.
Maybe next time we're going to be avatars. Who knows?
Maybe next time it'll be a bigger chat with more people on the stage.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Then we need AI.
We'll do industry-wide chat. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like a town hall, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, everybody, and see you soon.
Take care, everyone.